respected Sri Advaniji, Dr. Arun Shourie, Professor Kapil Kumar, Sri A.K. Doval, Sri Gurumurthy Ji, distinguished ladies and gentlemen in the audience, and friends. The History of Ancient India project of the Vivekananda International Foundation began in mid-April 2011, and today we humbly put forward the first 5 volumes of the series before you. We do so during a time when the study of ancient India is only a minor part of our academic curriculum, and when the study of the ancient past of the country, in the shape of archaeological researches, is in doldrums. The premier archaeological organizations of the country, including the Archaeological Survey of India, are without a sense of purpose and direction. And the Indian Archaeological Society, the major professional body of archaeologists in the country, has no academic concern. The only redeeming feature in this dismal scenario is the research commitment of a handful of individuals who have brought about in recent years some major changes in our understanding of the nation's ancient past. All of them have contributed to our volumes. Those of us who are proud to be associated with VIF, and I am certainly one of them, will confirm that its basic philosophy is nation first. The planning and contents of the volumes of this series have not departed from this principle. We have tried to adhere to the principle of national history propounded by Sir Jadunath Sarkar in 1937 in his letter to Sir Rajendra Prasad, the first president of the country. Quote, national history, like every other history worthy of the name and deserving to endure, must be true as regards the facts and reasonable in the interpretation of them, unquote. The major series of books in Indian history that we have before us is the series History and Culture of the Indian People, edited by R.C. Majumdar, the 11 volumes of which were published over a span of 28 years, 46 to 74. The series, which was conceived in 1937 by Sir Jadunath and Dr. Rajendra Prasad, was a new history of the Indian people, which was projected in 20 volumes, the first 8 volumes being devoted to what was called Hindu Age. The proposed publications never took off the ground in a systematic way. The same may partly be said about the project Comprehensive History of India, initiated by Indian History Congress. In more recent times, many multi-volume projects undertaken by many government and autonomous agencies have gone into limbo after publishing a few introductory volumes. It is clear that none of the earlier projects could maintain a tight time schedule and in some cases even academic motivation. We assure you that these pitfalls will be avoided by us. Volume 1 of the present series is about the genesis and the development of Stone Age cultures in the country. This is preceded by an examination of the historical diversity and richness of the Indian land, and also of the various ideas pertaining to the physical elements of the people who inhabit this land. The prehistoric data available from the various parts of the country are scrupulously examined, and they lead to the dominant impression of a seamless continuity through different prehistoric stages. What also emerges is the enormous hunting-gathering potential of the Indian landscape and the position of the Indian landmass in the general context of human evolution. Volume 2 discusses the post-Stone Age developments, dwelling on a vast array of interlinked themes, such as the beginning of food production, the phenomenon of the Indus civilization in all its regional diversities and features, and finally, the establishment of a village India on the subcontinental level and its transformation into the phase of early historic urban growth. The volume is titled Proto-Historic Foundations because these contain the seeds of what we see in the later contexts, including the village India that we can still see despite the impacts of modern socio-economic forces around us. The third volume of the series begins with the Aryan problem, on which scholars have written for close to 3 centuries. We have argued why and how we should get rid of the general obsession with this notion. We have denied that the entire purpose of the Vedic literature is anything but an interconnected corpus of Indian texts and has to be thus viewed historically. A scholarly review of the Buddhist and Jaina literature features next with the issues such as the dates of the Buddha and Mahavira. orthodox political history is introduced with the Mahajanapadas, contemporary with the life of the Buddha and Mahavira, and the subsequent emergence of Magadha as a leading political power of the country. The beginning and end of the Mauryan power, along with the earlier political episodes of the Achaemenid and Greek invasions, bring the political history part of the volume to conclusion. Following this, there are chapters of the inscriptions and coins of the period and notes on 21 major archaeological sites. Volume 4 picks up the thread between the end of the Mauryan dominance and the growth of major regional powers around 750 AD. This includes, on the one hand, the phase of the Kushanas, who represent in a way the significance of the Oxus-Indus orbit in the course of Indian history, and the resurgence of the Gangetic orbit under the Guptas on the other. Within this frame, there were other political developments, each important in their own domains. Volume 5 deals with the regional developments which have the added dimension of large-scale regional interactions. Each of the regional polities is strong on their own and shows awareness of areas far beyond the usual areas of their interaction. From this point of view, the powers which grew up in central India, the northwestern part of India, Afghanistan, East India, the Deccan and the South, give the political and administrative history of the land an aura of pan-Indian significance. The different stages through which Islam acquired power in India have been clearly outlined in this volume. Volume 6 to 11 will deal with the various other aspects of life in ancient India. We have begun work on the volumes 6, 7, and 8, which hopefully will be sent to the press in October, November 2014. Thank you.